That is a
So
view.
I know.
And
Dang.
the most interesting thing that happened out your window today, you weren't there for.
I know. We had a water spout over the bay this morning, and I was
Wow.
at work.
Ah,
Like,
It's, it's
F
pretty funny.
that.
It's pretty funny.
I'm
I was
so
jo-
mad.
I was joking. Like, don't take Mark storm chasing with you.
I do have you can kind of see it. I do have my GoPro up taking a time lapse still. I think it's going on like 6 hours.
Just in case the next one happens.
Well, that was what it was about. Was Alicia was obviously working too, and so I was like, "You got to set up the GoPro." So
Okay, I think
you're not wearing one of your special suits tonight.
I'm not. And this is a tough month because everyone wants me to wear green. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. St. Patrick's
First,
Day on Monday.
the first time I visited Keeper, it was a blue screen, so that wasn't a problem.
You are correct. Yeah, absolutely. And now we've got the green screen, and so I can't wear any green. So I can't wear the even like for April for tax day. Someone suggested I wear like a money suit. Can't do
because then
that.
half your body will disappear
Yep. Yep.
Find
or become whatever is the background.
find a Canadian
Absolutely.
money suit because our money has colors here.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah. No, I wear a lot of suits during the holidays. It started about 8 years ago with one suit, and so it kind of grew from that. And I have about 20 of them now. They're holiday themed suits throughout the year that I wear, but I won't wear another one until probably, well, 4th of July.
Oh, nothing for Memorial Day.
I
You
don't
could
have
probably
one for Memorial Day. Yeah, if
use the
they
same one.
could, probably easily. Yeah.
I'm just grabbing some water here. I already had my dinner, Joey. We had biscuits and gravy.
Oh, nice. That's like old school British style.
Yeah,
Well,
this
if
is usually,
anyone's
oh,
just
I'm sorry.
tuning in, this is the Comedeorological Report podcast. We are just setting up here. I'm sharing the links to everything and all that. I am Joey, only up here in Wells, British Columbia, 3,953 feet above sea level, the highest guy in Canada probably right now. Yeah, close to it, unless someone's on a mountaintop somewhere or flying around. Yeah, we are up here in the mountains, the Caribbean Mountains, and this is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And tonight we got a very special guest because we got Mike McCabe, who's with us from Pasco, Washington. And of course, meteorologist Mark is with us at 7 p.m. when we start the recording session. Frankie McDonald will join us with the worldwide weather. And of course, Brandon Hauk, our prairie weatherman from the radio in Brooks, Alberta. Okay, I can finally look at the screen now. I'm finally done typing things and sharing things and sending things. Good to see everybody out there. Hit like, share, subscribe if you haven't before. And welcome to the show, Mike. It's really great to have you. And we have so many questions for you. So many
I'm
questions.
excited. Yeah. And I'm just honored to be a part of this at sea level here, Joey, of 387 feet.
I think I'm
Yeah,
higher than you, Mike. Actually, I think
Are you? Well, yeah, I
I'm
don't
only a
doubt it.
kilometer from the water, but I think I'm at like 550 feet.
I say you're pretty high up in that fancy high rise you're in there.
right near the top. Yeah, we'll have all kinds of questions, and the panel will show up, and we never know who from the panel is coming, so it can get right out there. You know, it can. So sometimes we have storm chaser Hank Vliestra. We sometimes have Justin or Mike from Weather Center in Manitoba. Who else? Jenny Hagen, storm chaser. We've had all kinds. Meteorologist Chris Calais. We've had him on before as well, right? So haven't had him for a little while, a couple weeks at least now, right?
Yeah,
I
he
think.
pretends to have a life.
Well, I think since the last time he was on, he said Gulf of Mexico, and then he disappeared into the night, just like that, poof. You know, and so now apparently he's back, but he had to do this penance where he had to watch every episode of Ryan Hall y'all ever while he was in the back of the National Weather Service interrogation rooms there. Terrible
Yeah,
stuff. So
something about having four kids at home, like Chris was in college when he had the triplet, when his wife had the triplets. And like I was in college when we had a Kalia, and that was hard enough. I can't imagine triplets.
Yeah, I mean, I had a band. That was enough. That was enough work. Enough work. So I'm curious to ask you guys because we got this. The storm is now pretty much departed BC. We're finally starting to get a little open, a little bit of sky. Maybe we'll see some lunar show tonight. I doubt it here in the mountains very much. But our storm is moving off, and its destination is Hellsville. It's about to cause all pandemonium and chaos. So it's obviously a big topic for the show tonight. The weather setup this weekend.
Yeah, we're looking at a big severe weather event tomorrow in the Mississippi Valley. And like at work, so one of the things that happens is wind turbines will auto shut off at about 20 meters per second, which is about 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. And we're looking at a line of severe storms rolling through Iowa tomorrow. That's probably going to lead to some cutoffs. And I think the orientation of this line is such that it's going to take out a bunch of parks at the same time. It's not going to damage these parks, but the these parks are going to be generating a lot of energy and then just tank. And so this is going to be a big issue for it's called MISO is the market there. It covers like Minnesota, Iowa, uh, St. Louis, and then there's like a little neck, and then it goes down to New Orleans too. So that's going to be really interesting to watch for us at work tomorrow. And then, of course, there's a severe weather outbreak continuing in the deep south on Saturday. But my work world, I only care about the weather on weekdays.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. What about you, Mike? What are you thinking about this whole setup and the risk of a really large, damaging, potentially lethal tornado outbreak? And of course, on the upside here, we got the snow and freezing rain and all these kind of warnings going on for us in Canada. So it's like a continental wide affecting system.
Yeah, a big storm across much of the country and a lot of areas, in fact, impacted, including those of us right here in Eastern Washington, here in the desert, where we boast, or some people like to boast about 300 days of sunshine, although I don't know if that's technically true or not. I think it's a little less than that. But regardless of all of that, yeah, I mean, this is a big storm moving across much of the country, and we're getting a big one here off the West Coast, obviously, that will have impacts across California, Oregon, and Washington. Our big headline for us here where we live will be the wind. We live in an area that gets a lot of wind, and this weekend that wind is going to really pick up, and we're going to see the return of some good, healthy mountain snow over the Cascades of Washington, Oregon, Sierra Nevadas, and as well as the Blue Mountains. And so we welcome that because we are a little bit low on snowpack. So this is good news. Having said that, it is going to be very unpredictable. And wild as March storms typically are. It's one of these systems where, they tend to be a little wetter, a little more unpredictable, erratic, but so is March. We've come into the month so far here pretty quietly, and now it looks like it's ramping up. And so it's been exciting to watch, and I've been tracking it very closely. With regards to the rest of the country, I just was getting caught up on it a little bit earlier, so you guys know better than I do. But yeah, I mean, here we are as winter tries to shake itself free a little bit and the days get a little longer and warmer. That transition period can be rough, and it's fun to track. I admit, I enjoy it.
Something that's interesting is March is more unpredictable in Washington and southern BC and Oregon because, like, we are past the coldest time of the year at the surface, at the ground level, but actually, upper level temperatures don't bottom out until March. And so we're having the surface warm up with the daytime heating better, but the upper levels are still cooling. And so we get that convection better. And that's why we get better storms in the Northwest in March than we do in, say, October.
Yeah.
It's just, this is the coldest time of year up aloft. Then it starts warming up end of this month or beginning of next month or something like this. But yeah, it's this is the most dynamic time of year when it comes to storms. Of course, we had a water spout here. I'm in White Rock today. We had a water spout just out here while I was at work, not here. So that was disappointing. But yeah, this is the time of year.
Yeah, it's exciting. Deception Pass today, I know I had some pretty volatile weather. I noticed on Twitter or X, however, whatever you want to call it, with some pretty good hail. That who shared that? I'll have to find it. But anyway, yeah, it's active.
Uh, Salem, Oregon had so much hail that it looked like snow on the roads today.
Wow.
I saw that on the blue sky.
A typical behavior we get here in the mountains, and I think is common throughout the Northwest as we get these sort of daily, like Mark was saying, these sort of daily squalls, and they start for us as snow squalls. Then they start making their transition to more grapple squalls. And so we had some of our squalls yesterday had some good grapple in them.
Mhm.
And then as we get into April, more and more, you start seeing the odd flash of lightning in them. And then, of course, they start to become little daily afternoon thunderstorm bubblers, but just weak ones, come and go thunderstorm popcorns, right?
Mhm.
But
Love those
yeah, I
popcorn
mean,
clouds.
this area, one thing I do like about living up here in Wells is we tend to get a lot of that. Hey, Karen, by the way, welcome in. Good to see you. Karen's in Prince George. This is Mike McCabe. Welcome. Karen, meet Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, Karen.
And this is some of
Karen,
the.
You're
Oh, go
missing
ahead,
the
Mike.
view.
Yeah, I know. Where
Karen
was
was at-
that on Sunday?
Karen was at my house last weekend, and it was raining
Ah.
the whole time.
That reminds me. Maybe I should shut this off for a second. I want to find the article or the image from today. Oops. I'll find that image
the
of that water
spouts?
spout, and then we'll
Yeah.
come back to looking ahead there. We still got 19 minutes before Frankie gets here. So what you have to understand, Mike, is when Frankie gets here, then we're into like show mode.
Okay.
Show mode, it's like,
Yeah.
this is like hangout time where we just kind of say whatever, But when Frankie gets here, and Frankie's very serious, like he's on time. Like he's 6:59,
Yeah.
45. He's there. I'm ready to go, Joey.
Frankie, have you been exposed to Frankie McDonald before, Mike?
I have not. No.
He is-
I will from here on out. I will tell you that right now. But no.
Wow.
Yeah. I've heard
He
of the
is
name.
the guy.
This is that's actually kind of rare for someone to not know Frankie, actually,
Yeah.
because he's so Frankie's a YouTuber from Nova Scotia, and he's got really good over the years, but his first video has got a lot of traction because he was kind of awkward at first. He's autistic, and he made these videos about earthquake warnings. He predicted an earthquake for California, and then an earthquake happened. So then he got put on Tosh 2.0, his video, and he became bolder and bolder and more loved and loved until he became known as the world's greatest weatherman. And so Frankie McDonald, he's this very serious character out in Nova Scotia, and I can't describe him any other way than just one of a kind, a true Canadian gem, and people know him all over. He makes weather forecasts every week for whatever's going on in the world. He makes the odd one for, I know people in Texas love him, and he's a very popular guy. Here's the water spout that Mark missed today.
Hey, speaking of the water spout, we have the guy who took this photo. He's watching right now. He's in the chat.
Oh,
I
I
was
haven't been
just
looking
going to
at the
mention
chat.
that.
Welcome to the show, Nolan.
So, yeah. Yeah, thank you for making me mad today, Nolan.
Yeah. I usually have a big burger bite.
I'm going to be
Hey.
so disappointed about this for the rest of the week. At least
You were
it's
pretty
Thursday.
mad in the group chat today. You were pretty upset.
I was.
All caps. That's not like you, Mark.
The rest of my life, man, I'd be mad.
That's okay. I've seen 3 tornadoes in my life. I have been inside 2 tornadoes, so
Yeah, my punchline today in the chat when you said that was, unfortunately, you were sleeping when they hit.
yeah. Oh, where's the rainbow? Oh,
I've only nailed one in BC. It's definitely not the place to go for any kind of a long track, easy to see tornado. Although sometimes the dry storms allow us to see the meso movement. It's there happening sometimes. It's quite possible. The Caribou is the most likely region in BC to have a damaging tornado. That's true. But when I compare my experiences to being out in the prairies or Ontario to, some of those, there is times where I was like, wow. I guess there's been some times like that in BC too. I shouldn't say there isn't. If you watch my videos every summer, either my forest fire videos or my lightning videos, there's one of those or two, but it's the frequency, right? The storms that would come through central Ontario growing up were disastrous, some of them, right? Pretty exciting stuff. So we'll be asking you questions, and when it comes time for the show, Mike, I'll do the intro and then kind of run through it with everybody. Generally, we run Frankie first off the top of the show, but because you're the guest of the hour, I'm going to intro you, and I'll ask you like some very basic question, like what life is like for a meteorologist, or tell us about your life there, and something not too pressing, because we're going to leave the actual interview for you and Mark a little later on. So we'll go Frankie, then Brandon, and then we'll turn it over to Mark shortly thereafter in the show. So a little bit of a threat for Southern Ontario. Oof, it looks better than it did yesterday.
I think tomorrow's threat, by the way, in Iowa is mostly like straight line winds. I didn't see like any of these can produce a tornado, right? But I think straight line winds is going to be the bigger threat in Iowa. And of course, Iowa is very traumatized after very recently having quite a large derecho go through Iowa, causing widespread damage over a large portion of the state. I think it hit Cedar Rapids, which is a larger town in the state. So they're not very keen on getting this kind of weather.
I do this every time.
And for full transparency, Joey, as well, I wanted to mention this before we start the program as well. I am a weather anchor for the CBS station here in Tri-Cities, as well as Yakima, and then occasionally Lewiston, Idaho. I started 28 years ago through the back door in production, and then kind of worked my way in front of the green screen. So I've taken schooling for meteorology classes, but I'm not technically a meteorologist. And I always have to correct people about that, because they call me that, and sometimes I just let it slide. But a lot of times, I'll stop and say, look, I appreciate that. I would love to be called that. I just surround myself with a lot of really smart people. Mark Ingalls being one of them.
Solidarity, man. I hear that.
Do you? Yeah. And so, he came in high school, and he knocked on the doors, and he came in, and I wasn't sure about him at first. And then I realized, oh my God, this guy's smart. And next thing you know, he's now a meteorologist, and we've been able to do some fun weather things together. And I've been able to meet a lot of really smart people. And today is a good example of that. I get to meet you, and I can't believe I've not heard of Joey or this Frankie guy. I'm just now looking him up. I have seen him on YouTube. Obviously, I follow a lot of people. Michael Snyder's one of my favorite guys that I like to watch. He has a YouTube channel, and he's in Seattle. And
I'm good friends with Michael Snyder, actually.
I figured you probably were. And so what I do, Joey, is I just surround myself with a lot of really smart people, and I watch these guys talk weather, and a lot of times I'll pull a lot of info from him. When I was with Mark, he took me around the Tri-Cities to jump off Joe during a pretty high wind event, and then explain the geography of the entire area that I didn't even know about. So, my biggest skill, I think, is being able to tell a story and communicate that to a television audience in layman's terms. And so all of you smart people help me do that very, very well. And I'm just blessed to be around such awesome people. And so now I get to meet a couple more. So this is exciting.
Well, your story gives me a lot of hope, actually. You have to understand how much I've battled over the years, but still, Karen will tell you this for a long time. People are like, Joey, you're the best weatherman in BC. And I'm like, I'm the best, the best work for BC Wildfire Service or the River Forecast Center or Environment Canada. And that they're not on Facebook telling you shit or on YouTube or this or that. Right. So, and that's all honesty, but, and I agree too, because I'm an artist ultimately. Like that's always what I've been. I was a public artist, performance artist. I could have studied meteorology in school, but I studied art.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I get it.
And so we are artists, but I think, there's a science to being a good artist, and there's arts and science. They kind of work together, right? And so if you take the academic approach to information and knowledge and acquiring of knowledge and wanting to gain factual, cohesive knowledge, and then put that into the creativity that you have as a presenter or an artist or as a speaker or a public person, you're doing the world a lot of favor because you're connecting something that people don't have.
That's a great point, Joey. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm a bit of a performer slash artist. Growing up, I was not good at sports, so I really excelled in drama and music and that sort of thing because it was something I knew I could do. And I thought being on television as a weather personality would be a pretty cool job early on. And so I just kind of gravitated in that direction. And that's why I kind of do the fun suits. I don't take myself too seriously. However, I can be serious when I need to be serious. I'm not going to be wearing some goofy snowflake suit in the middle of a snowstorm, for example, although that might fit. But you know what I mean? I have to ride that line from being just this goofy, fun weather guy to also being someone that people can trust when they turn the TV on. That, oh, there's Mike. He's been doing this for a long time, and we trust him. And why do they trust me? Probably because hopefully I'm relatable and I can tell a story that everyone can relate to. And weather is fascinating, and I get to meet great people along the way. But I'm babbling. But yes, Joey, I hear you. I'm a bit of an artist too, and I could tell by the background. I like what you got going on back there.
Well, if you start with the assumption that you don't know,
yes,
then all you can do is learn.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a big problem these days is, of course I'm the guy that people come to because I know things, right?
Yeah.
But that was earned. I spent hours and hours and hours reading, watching, like, and asking smarter people and listening to smarter people and trying to improve upon. So I say to my firefighters sometimes, because you go to correct, and this is, we got tough guys, and so often I'm working with all First Nations guys. They're tough guys, and I got to correct them. I'm the crew leader. I'm going to correct you. And, there's a better way we could do this is the problem, a more simple, faster, easier way that's going to cause you less. So you go to correct somebody and you say, hey, well, this isn't really how I want us to do it because it's going to cost us hours. This is how, and then they start to argue, of course, right? Like, well, it's like, I did because I don't care, man. Shut up. Just take the advice, please. Just take the advice, because you know what?
Yeah.
If you take the advice now, you'll never be wrong again on that subject, right?
Yeah.
Learn the lesson now. It's like, I get it. Like, I'm not down on you. I'm not trying to. I'm a 46-year-old man here who's been to a lot of fire. I'm telling you, this is what the weather's doing and why, or whatever, right? So we're gonna welcome in now. Brandon Hauk's already on. Brandon, your camera sideways, please. There. Brandon Hauk is the radio weatherman for Brooks, Alberta. And like you and me, he's and here Mike McGregor's just showing up from Winnipeg, from Weather Center, Manitoba. So like yourself there, Brandon and myself, we're communicators to the public, but we take a lot of effort into being good at our craft too, right? And so I went through a lot of time feeling like a faker. Like, wow, and then it's like, well, how many times do I have to nail a prediction that is a serious one, like a wildfire that's going to burn a town down, which Brandon and I both have experiences from that same story last summer, which we've had many stories like it over the years, right? So Brandon, he was the voice of the evacuation of Jasper, the town of Jasper National Park during the fire last year. He was on the radio being that guy. So Brandon, say hi to Mike.
Good evening. How's it going?
I'm doing well, Brandon. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yes.
It's great to connect.
It is. Yeah, my Zoom isn't working on my laptop, so I have to use the phone tonight.
That's why we got the nasal view.
Yeah.
Yep, I always love surrounding myself with a lot of really smart people.
And here, Mike McGregor.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
He's in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and he works and helps Justin Ortle, who's probably going to be on, I think, maybe on the panel tonight.
I'll get him on.
And Justin's the founder of Weather Center Manitoba. It's the largest weather I don't know what you call it, social media or whatever presence in Manitoba.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
we're
we'll
going
go.
quite quickly, so it's incredible being able to meet someone who is doing literally my dream job because of my math and science is not that good, so I don't think I'll get the meteorology level, but you're people like you are a role model to me. So it's nice to
Well,
meet you,
I
Mike.
appreciate that. You guys are a lot of these people that I surround myself with are role models. And Mark started out early and young, and I don't know, maybe he saw something in me that he wanted to meet me. But as the years have gone on, I look to Mark now for help. I'll find an interesting cloud formation, and I'll text Mark and go, "Okay, what is your take on this?" And I always know I can get an answer. So, Mark, I appreciate that.
I think
I think
Mark's
it
a
goes
very
both ways, Mike.
I
Mark's a
appreciate
very
that.
good meteorologist.
Yeah,
I'm not kissing your ass, Mark, but I haven't said it in a long time.
yeah.
Whatever, I make fun
It
of you a
wasn't
lot
good
because you're the
today.
smartest guy in the room.
Today was a big forecast bust, though. It was a rough one.
Make fun of you a lot because you're the smartest guy in the room, but
Yeah.
you're a damn good meteorologist, right? And you've made all of us better on the show, on the panel, and of course my viewers. And now that you're a part of Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, and now that we've got you in Canada, and we're gonna keep you here.
Yeah, so that's a perfect time for my plug for somebody to line up a provincial nomination for me for permanent residency.
Oh,
If somebody knows somebody, I
yeah.
have this platform thanks to Joey, and I'm going to use it.
I don't doubt that you will. You will. Hello, sweetie. And this is your
Yes, this
youngest
is
daughter, or
well,
your only
my
daughter?
youngest and my oldest.
Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't remember if you had two, but just the one. Yeah, a
She's
4.
4. You met
Wow.
her when she was, I think, not even 1. When we went up to jump off
Probably.
Joe, she was real
Yeah,
small.
she was. That's right. I did. She was just a little baby.
Yes. She can't hear you now, though, because I have the AirPods in. So,
Ah, yeah. Yeah, but she can wave. Yeah.
yep.
4 years
Yes,
old?
they
Yes.
all saw that you're 4. They understood.
Man, I can't get past that view you've got though, Mark, behind you.
Oh,
Holy
I know.
cow.
I know. So
That's
we got this place, and now this weekend we're going down to Hermiston to Alicia's sister had a baby, and I'm like, I don't want to leave.
yeah. No
Like,
kidding. I don't
we were
blame you.
going we were going out to the coast and in April, and Alicia was like, I'm gonna convince my mom to do half the trip up here so that we can be at our house.
Here's
You
my
can see
shameless plug for Wells, BC. There's Cow
Holy.
Mountain in behind. Oh, only one of the tits though. You can't see the other tit behind the trees right now. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
lots of snow yesterday. That's life in the mountains here. Beautiful view as it is.
Yeah.
And look at that. It's showtime and it's not dark. So the time of misery and suffering is coming to an end, folks, slowly.
Oh,
Eventually. Soon. Dear
yes.
God.
Yeah, I love getting off the 6 and being able to go out and grab a bite and it's still light out. That's been nice.
Yeah, I start work at 5 a.m., so I'm perfectly fine with standard time.
I think we need to institute a new system that's like Groundhog Day. And if the groundhog sees its shadow, then we do daylight savings time that year.
I like
That's
it.
the kind of chaos that I can get on board with.
It seems routine in today's chaos. Oh my God. No, okay.
That would
Frankie's
be
going to be here any
perfect.
minute. I better make sure that Frankie has the link, eh? Just because sometimes,
Frankie is so popular that he has a very tight schedule.
Yes,
He
and
does a
we have to do
podcast
it.
right before us. We have to do it at this time because
Yeah.
it's 11 o'clock where Frankie's at.
Oh,
And this is the
wow.
only
Here
time
to
he has
it.
free.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
yeah, I've tried to switch show times before because, I don't know, something was going on. It's like, I fight wildfires or something in the summer. I'm like, well, I have this day open. Can we do it this day instead? And Frankie's like, nope.
It's like, you will be on Joey Only show.
yeah. I'm like, I can't do the show this week, Frankie. And he's like, you will be on. Like, I can't. Canada's playing America, and it's a hockey game. It's like the best game in 50 years, buddy. You will be on the show. Like, so any minute now. I just resent the link there to make sure it didn't get buried in the feed there. Because it does. And if he's not here, we'll just start, right? Because we may have to just start. That's what we'll do. He'll be here any minute now. Where's the record button? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not.
It's the Comedeorological Report. Yes, the 185th Comedeorological Report. It's the 13th of March, Thursday night, 7 p.m. at the time of recording. I'm Joey, only up here in Wells, British Columbia, 3,153 feet above sea level. You're tuned into C4 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 as well. Frankie McDonald just about to join us any minute. He is the man of the hour. It's your show about how much the weather sucks, and sucks it does. Yes, we got Frankie McDonald, the world's greatest weatherman, of course, and Brandon Houck, my old-time co-host. But Mark Engels, meteorologist Mark Engels, has brought with us tonight a special guest.
Hey, I like it. Hi, Jay Fallon. This is Jay Fallon.
Hey, Jay Fallon. Welcome to the Comedeorological Report.
This is Jay.
What?
I can't see it now. Okay, well, we got a special guest tonight who's.
This is Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Let's go, Flames.
Let's go, Flames. There you go.
They're not going to make it to the cup.
This is Joey. This is Joey Allen.
Hi. Welcome to the show. Our special guest tonight actually is Mike McCabe, who's TV weatherman down in Pasco, Washington, Frankie.
Oh, have a great night. I'm on Joey Allen show right now.
Yeah, we love you.
Everyone loves Frankie. Frankie, meet Mike McCabe, TV weatherman from Pasco, Washington.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Frankie.
I'm doing
It's an
great so
honor.
far.
Frankie's a YouTuber from Sydney, Nova Scotia, eh, Frankie?
Yes, I'm a YouTuber from Sydney, Nova Scotia.
That's right.
I'm going to follow you and subscribe from here on out. I'm excited.
So we're going to be
On my
talking to
YouTube
Mike.
channel, Dogs and Wolves. That's my YouTube channel.
Okay. I'm writing it down. Actually, I already found you.
There you go. So we're going to talk to you, Mike, tonight as a special guest. And of course, we'll have the panel with Mike McGregor's here, and we got Karen Richards as well. And anybody who on the panel will want to ask a question. And we'll check the comments on the live stream there for anybody who's watching on Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel for questions for Mike. But we'll just start with Mike. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to being a TV weatherman.
Absolutely. I started, oh my goodness, getting into the business probably over 30 years ago, right out of high school, working at a television station in Yakima, Washington, running the teleprompter for a newscast. And from there, I jumped into running audio. And then I actually worked in a area called Master Control, where I ran commercials for 3 stations, KMA TV, Keeper Television in Pasco, and KLEW Television in Lewiston, Idaho. And so I got to work behind the scenes, and when the lights shut off, I'd stand in front of the green screen and imitate our weather guy. But it was something that I knew I wanted to do from an early age, and I had an appreciation for weather. I loved weather. I got super excited about weather, but I knew that in order to get in front of the screen, I would have to go to school. So I moved to Lewiston, Idaho, and I went to a community college there, and I took some classes up at WSU, lived with my sister, and I got a job in radio, working midnight to 6, spinning tunes, and then I got a job doing news for the radio station KTW FM in Lewiston, Idaho. So I did a lot of news, and there was an opening for a weather position at KLEW Television in Lewiston, Idaho. This was back in 1996. And so I knew I had to make a tape, but I didn't have one. So I drove to Yakima, where I got my first TV job, and the director there, after the newscast, allowed me to get in front of the green screen and make a very terrible, terrible tape. I was awful, But I was in a small town, a very small town with only one television station at KLAW. And I didn't get past it the first crack around. I actually had to apply for it 3 times before they finally gave me a shot at doing weather on television. And I promised them if they just would have given me this one chance, they wouldn't be disappointed. And coincidentally, I've been working for the same company for over 28 years. I went from KLAW to Yakima. Now I'm in the Tri-Cities. I still do weather for Yakima. They don't have their own weather meteorologist down there, so I provide it for them. I record a weather report a half hour before the show starts, which has its own challenges, especially in the wintertime, where the forecast may be calling for mostly cloudy conditions, and then right at 5:01 it starts to snow, but I've already recorded my weather segment. That's another story for another day.
I know
But
that
I
one.
am, yeah, but I'm live here in the Tri-Cities at 5, 6, and 11, Monday through Friday. That's kind of the short of it right there. And I actually just recently was nominated for the Silver Circle nomination for the National Academy of Television Arts and Scientists, the Northwest chapter. And I guess it's the Silver Circle Award, so it's just basically the old man award. But I got word actually of all since we're speaking weather stuff on Monday, and so I'm honored to be able to be a recipient of that award, and it's going to be held in Seattle, June 6th, and so I'm going to accept that award for my years of service in TV, weather, and all that fun stuff. So anyway, it's been a fun journey. It's been a great ride. I've loved every bit of it. I like to hike, and I love my family, and I love my job. So that's kind of the synopsis of kind of how I got started in all this.
Thanks so much for coming tonight, Mike, and I can't wait for the rest of the interview tonight when we're gonna set Mark Ingalls free on you. But first, we got to get back to the world's most talked about, famous, infamous, most wonderful, beautiful, even handsome, wonderful, intelligent man, Frankie McDonald in Scotia.
Can you yodel for us?
Who has the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Frankie McDonald. How you doing so far, bud?
I'm doing great so far. And did you hear about this? It's cool outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. It's pretty cool outside my hometown in Sydney, Nova Scotia. As for right now, and the weather in my hometown right now, it's cool outside, it's cold outside. Sydney and Halifax, it's clear skies right now. It's a lot of rain and snow in Vancouver, Victoria, and all those places. Lots of snow in Ontario, BC right now. It's going to bring a severe thunderstorms in Mississippi and Alabama. This week's going to bring chain lightning, fallout, thunder, heavy downpours, large hail damage, winds, possible tornado, including western Tennessee, parts of Kentucky. This Saturday coming, including Ohio and all those places. It's going to bring a lot of rain and thunderstorms. It's going to bring really strong winds all across eastern United States this Sunday coming. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain. New York City and all those places. It's going to bring heavy downpours in New York City. And there's another storm that's going to be off the coast of Florida in the middle of next week as well. And that means that it's going to be a lot. They brought a lot of rain to Los Angeles back on Wednesday, bringing lots of rain where Gary and Dino lives in Tuesday and Thursday coming up. That was right now. Gary and Dino's bringing a lot of rain too. Where Gary and Dino lives is cold outside in Los Angeles, snow up in the mountains, and near Hollywood, those places. It's really cold in Los Angeles, Burbank, California, Glendale, California, Anaheim, Riverside, Orange County, Corona, California, Victorville, Hollywood, Burbank, and Santa Barbara, California. It's really cold there right now. And even San Diego, California is really cold. And northwestern Mexico, near the U.S. border, it's really, really cold there right now. It's really cold heading towards New Mexico. It's bringing some snow in New Mexico this Friday coming up. And you got some snow over the mountains in California as well. Then you got warm air, cold air fighting each other in California. It's going to bring a big blizzard conditions to western Minnesota this Saturday coming. It's going to bring lots of snow in western Minnesota, Kenora, Ontario, and all those places. It's going to bring freezing rain somewhere north of Thunder Bay, Ontario. It's going to bring freezing rain there this Saturday coming. It's going to bring lots of rain and snow in Oregon, up in the mountains of Oregon, rain in the coast areas of Oregon as well. In Washington State, it's really cold there right now. It's going to remain cold in interior British Columbia, including Vancouver, Victoria, and all those places. It's going to remain cold there next week as well in Vancouver. And it's going to bring a whole lot of snow late next week in Vancouver Island, including Nanaimo, Port Alberni, all those places, including mountains of Vancouver Island. It's going to bring lots of snow late next week as well. And it got some cold air all across central states this weekend coming up. It's going to bring really hot air next Monday all across Texas. Hot air and cold air fighting each other in Texas this time of the year. They got lots of snow in Colorado right now in Utah. And rain as well. Same with Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana right now. It's really dry in Mexico right now. In Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and places like in Panama, it's dry with a little bit of showers in the forecast. In South America, a lot of rain and thunderstorms going on in Colombia, parts of Peru, parts of Ecuador, Bolivia. A lot of rain and thunderstorms going on right now in parts of Venezuela. It's a lot of rain in northern Brazil right now. Northern Brazil soon be entering the dry season. And a lot of rain and thunderstorms going on in Rio de Janeiro too, in Amazon rainforest. It's really dry in northern Argentina right now. In northern Chile, it's really dry there right now, including Santiago, Chile. In southern tip of Chile, lots of rain and going on the south coast of Chile and snow up in the mountains. And warm air, cold air fighting each other in the Falkland Islands. In southern Argentina, warm air, cold air fighting each other right now too. Up around Europe is lots of rain and lots of cold air in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Isle of Man, including France. Lots of rain in Spain and snow up in the mountains in Portugal. Then they got some cold air in France, Spain, Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, Sweden. It's extremely cold in South Bar, Norway right now. It's extremely cold there right now. Parts of Poland, parts of Belarus, in Moscow, Russia. It's warm there right now in Moscow, Russia. And you get lots of showers and rain forecast in Bosnia, parts of Italy, parts of Croatia, and all those places. It's really dry and getting hotter in Greece right now. And warm air in Greece, and it's getting really hot air in western Turkey this weekend coming up. It's really dry in Syria. It's really dry in Egypt, Libya, and Algeria as of right now. It's been a report as for Japan right now. And the weather in East Asia, lots of snow off the coast of Japan right now near Sapporo, Japan. Then they got lots of rain heading towards Tokyo, Japan this weekend coming. They got lots of snow in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan. As of right now, there's going to be a whole lot of snow in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan. It's going to be over 40 centimeters of snow in northeast coast of Japan. And lots of warm air. Then they got lots of snow in North Korea. In some places in North Korea, in east coast of North Korea and east coast of South Korea, it's going to bring up to 40 centimeters of snow there. This weekend coming. It's really cold in Vladivostok, Russia. It's really cold in Mongolia. It's gradually warming up in Siberia, Russia right now. In China is lots of rain and thunderstorms in Wuhan, China. It's really cold in Beijing, China. It's lots of cold air going through. Lots of rain heading towards Hong Kong as well. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in southern Philippines. It's going to work its way to northern Philippines. Then it got some rain and thunderstorms in Vietnam, Laos, and all those places. Thailand is soon in a rainy season. It's really hot in Bangladesh and Myanmar right now. A lot of rain and thunderstorms in Indonesia right now, Papua New Guinea, and all those places right now. In Singapore and Malaysia as well. There's parts of Madagascar, Africa is getting hit by a tropical cyclone. In India, it's really hot there right now. It's going to get really, really hot in late March, April, May in India. That's their summer. Once their summer's over, our summer starts in June. Then it'll be the monsoon season. Then in India, Afghanistan, it's really dry there right now. In Iran and Iraq, it's really dry right now. It's really hot in Saudi Arabia right now. It's really hot there right now. In Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and all those places. Lots of thunderstorms and quite a few thunderstorms raining. Ghana, Nigeria, fighting against dry air right now. They got stay soon in a rainy season. It's really dry Sahara Desert Africa right now. In southern Africa, lots of rain thunderstorms in Angola, parts of Namibia, Mozambique, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Uganda, and parts of South Africa. Lots of thunderstorms rain in South Africa right now. It's really hot there right now. Their fall starts next Thursday. Once again in Australia, right now down in Australia, lots of dry, lots of rain. Just leaves Perth, Australia. It's going to bring really hot temperatures to Perth, Australia. Yeah, lots of rain and thunderstorms in northern Australia right now. And it's really dry in Queensland, parts of Queensland, Australia. Then it got some cold air heading towards parts of Tasmania, south of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, tiny little island south of Australia. And it got some cold air heading for there right now because their fall starts on March 20th. In Southwest Pacific, lots of dry air in Auckland, New Zealand, Gracemount, New Zealand, a little bit of showers of clean. Hamilton, New Zealand, Wellington, New Zealand, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, Napier, New Zealand, and New Plymouth, Nelson, New Zealand. Then it got lots of rain heading towards Invercargill, New Zealand. This Monday coming up, it's going to bring a whole lot of rain in parts of Western, South Island, New Zealand, even including Invercargill, New Zealand, then in New Zealand, including in Christchurch, New Zealand, Queenstown, New Zealand, including snow up in the mountains because their fall starts on March 20th. And then it will be 12-hour daylight up in the Arctic next Thursday. There'll be 12-hour darkness down Antarctica next Thursday as well.
Frankie McDonald.
So if you have listeners, a Comedeorological weather report in England and the rest of Europe, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and the rest of Europe, daylight savings time begins on March 30th in Europe.
Suffering begins on March 30th in Europe. Just coming to the panel from Halifax
March
as well.
30th, that's when time springs ahead in Europe, March 30th.
That's right, Frankie.
When it's time fall back in Australia, April the 6th, Australia, New Zealand, and Chile.
Last weekend, we set our time back 100 years in North America. Anyways, your dad has showed up from Halifax. He's on the panel. And Imogen the Alien from Victoria is also here tonight. So that is all good. Brandon Houck, is your camera working? Are you still out there?
That's my dad. He writes a lot of songs on his SoundCloud.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Frank McDonald. Okay, Brandon Houck, if you were there, we got to keep moving because we got a tight show tonight. Brandon Houck with the Brandon Houck Report. I don't have the thing ready. I'm just going to do it for you. The Brandon Houck Report.
That means how's my dad doing?
We will talk to him, Frankie.
All right. So we'll get going here with the Brandon Houck Report at a weird angle, but that's okay. So as we go into the weather forecast here and throughout this week here, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride on the weather front of things across southern portions of Alberta. We've had some snow, we've had some warm temperatures, kind of typical kind of pattern that you can see here in the month of March here. And today was a bit of a weird one as well, with the Clipper system, actually storm system moving in out of British Columbia, 989 millibar low situated right on top of me this afternoon. And we were on the warm sector of it, and we got a bit of rain today. Pretty good little blast of rain. We had some freezing fog this morning, a little bit of mist, and then the sun came out this afternoon. And areas through central regions of the province got a pretty good swath of snow that's still ongoing, where you've got temperatures, big temperature contrast across the province today. Nearly 14 degrees in Medicine Hat. Meanwhile, Edmonton barely got above -10 this afternoon. So quite a temperature contrast. And even up in the far northern part of the province, up by Fort Chippewa there, they were about -36 with wind chills of -47 earlier this week there. So it's a bitterly cold air still hanging on to parts of the country here. And this Clipper system is going to produce some freezing rain potential tonight in southern Saskatchewan, and then it's going to meet up with this big Colorado low that is going to cause all kinds of problems in the United States. With this system's going to be moving into the eastern prairies, and we'll probably hear from Mike on this one with them into southeastern Manitoba for Friday into Saturday, and northwestern Ontario as well. They're going to get thunderstorms, they're going to get freezing rain, and the snow and blowing snow is going to be an issue into the weekend into the eastern prairies. So for us here, we're going to see our temperatures take a little bit of they're going to start to tick down through the night tonight into tomorrow, with potential overnight lows pushing the -teens. And then by tomorrow, we'll be, staying below freezing all day with some scattered snow showers. And we've got a cool couple of days ahead. And then we're going to bump the temperature back up on Sunday, and it looks like we've got another shot of cooler air coming in on Monday with probably another bout of snow in the south here. And then we'll bump back up again next week. So as I said, that roller coaster ride of wild weather continues. So some of the interesting stories that I found this week on the news side of things, I guess. First off, a guy got caught with a turtle in his pants at an airport there this week. And then there's an orchestra of, there's this orchestra. And these people use vegetables as instruments, which I found, which was actually quite fascinating. So using vegetables as instruments. So I have to say they have some very sick beats, and the music was quite corny as well. So that's the latest on the Brandon Hauk Report tonight.
Oh, God.
The Brandon Hauk Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Hauk Report.
Brought to you by
Smoking good barbecue.
the Brandon Hauk Report. Oh,
And it's my dad. He writes a lot of music.
hey, Frank McDonald Sr. We do want to talk to you, but we are going to push forward into talking to Mike McCabe first, though, because he is our featured guest tonight, and he's never been on the show before. So, meteorologist Mark Ingalls. I think we also had Hilding just show up in the panel. So we got a lot of people who are going to be coming at you with questions once meteorologist Mark Ingalls gets on the go with you here. So prepare yourself for what's coming next, everybody. Mike McCabe. And
just got the fat check for pushing that.
My name Mark Ingalls.
Pushing that agenda. It says here, HARP, climate change, whatever, in my bank account.
okay, Mark. So we're going to get you to do this interview right now because I have really important things to take care of. Hold on.
I will, real quickly, though, I do want to talk about, we've had very stormy weather today in White Rock, and I'm going to step outside. I've got my Kestrel here, my handheld anemometer. My AirPods should reach, so we're going to step outside and see what we got going on. It's very windy here on my balcony, and so we've got, I think you can probably hear the wind, 20 kilometers an hour. Oh, here's 30. Yeah, we're gusting about 30, 35 kilometers an hour. It's not real that big, but it is chilly. So I'm going to come back inside now that I'm done with that. And but my daughter's having a ton of fun standing outside in the wind and cold because she knows that she could come inside and stand by our fireplace. So tonight we have Mike McCabe joining us from Pasco, Washington. Pasco is one of the three Tri-Cities there in Eastern Washington, Kennewick, Pasco, and Richland. I grew up in Kennewick, and Mike is on the CBS station there in the Tri-Cities in Yakima. When I was in high school, I reached out to Mike asking if I could come invade the station a couple of times to kind of see how the weather works in his part of the world. And it was really insightful for me. And Mike was very supportive of me in high school and when I came back from my mission in college too. So I'm really excited to have Mike on the show with us. He's been very influential in my career, especially early on. And now here I am living my dream. So, and Mike played a role in that. So Mike, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you, Mark. It is a pleasure to be on the program. And likewise, it has been an honor knowing you and watching you grow from, just this eager high school student to go on and get your education and move on. And I've watched you when you were in Prosser, and then you moved to Portland, and now you're up north and doing great things and great, wonderful things. And it's so good to see that movement that you've made over the years. It's hard to believe that it's been, I don't know how long it's been, over 10 years since.
Wow. Well, this was in high
met.
school, and I'm 30 now, so
yeah,
it's been a while.
It has been a long while. Mark would come and he would just hang out the whole time, and he would hang out and talk with the anchors, and you were always right there. And then I realized, man, this guy not only loves weather, but he's really smart. So much so that our local radio personalities here in the Tri-Cities will often call Mark when we have big weather stories and get his opinion on or his take on, more importantly, the weather moving forward, like what's our spring going to look like, or what's the winter going to look like? Are we going to get a lot of snow? So he's kind of made his name for himself. And what I appreciate, Mark, and then I'll talk a little more about what I do. And I'm not trying to, you do great. Mark's awesome. So
Yeah, you're already on the show, Mike.
I know I am on the show, so I guess I don't need to convince anybody else. But yeah, you were, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, a lot of people. And oh no, what I love is that Mark still contributes to weather here in the Tri-Cities. So he's got his Facebook page and other social outlets. Well, he will continue to provide his insight on the weather here in the Tri-Cities and the Basin and into Eastern Oregon. There's a lot of people that follow it, including me. I mean, like, I'll see something that Mark writes up, and I'm going, okay, yeah, that's important. That's something I can include in my weather story for tonight. And so you've done great, and it's been a pleasure. And now look at this, I get to meet all these wonderful other really smart people on this podcast tonight.
Yes. So Mike, you've been doing television weather for over 25 years, but you are
Yeah.
not a meteorologist. And I want to point that out because I know that there's some people on the panel, and I know that there's a lot of people probably watching this that have a strong interest in weather, but don't really see a career path for them in that they might want to go to. So I know you talked about it in the pre-show, but I'd like to hear you talk about how you got into weather in kind of a more unconventional way and how that's led to a
Yeah.
successful career for you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I really got into this business through the back door. It is not a way that I recommend people to go about it, particularly if you are interested in weather on television. For a lot of people, that would require a meteorology degree. Although, if you have a good sense of telling a story and some personality, television is a good route to go. If you can convince people to watch your channel based on your communication skills. That's been my best skill that I think that I've been able to bring to the table. I went in and I did it unconventionally. I worked behind the scenes and I've worked every aspect of television that you can probably think of, from production to news to everything. And eventually I got in front of the camera, and that was really hard to do. It took me probably 10 years before I could even get in front of the camera. So, you know, I got through the back door. And from there, I've been, you know, as I said, I started in Lewiston, Idaho, then Yakima, and now here in the Tri-Cities. And I met my wife way back when I was in Lewiston, and we're very family oriented. And she told me the very first time that when I started this business is that she didn't want to move anywhere more than 100 miles from her family. And I kind of told her, I said, well, people in this business generally typically start in these markets and move to bigger markets or go into something a little bit different, which means involve, you know, moving to a bigger city. And she wasn't having it. And so I thought right there, I had a decision to make. Do I work on my career or family first? And so for me, family was first. And in hindsight, looking back at everything, I'm glad that I stayed where I have been, just simply because I've gotten to meet a lot of young people as they've started out, and I've seen them move all over the country. I have friends in major markets, small markets, some of the people that started doing weather that aren't even in the business at all. So it's fun to watch these people move on and grow, including Mark. And fortunately, with each contract renewal, they've been fortunate to keep me on and allowed me to pay me a living wage. I do appreciate getting anywhere I want in the Tri-Cities within 15 to 20 minutes. I love the big cities. I love Vancouver, British Columbia. I love Seattle. I love to visit those places. My younger self always had a dream of living in downtown Seattle in a penthouse working for King Television. That didn't come to pass for me. But as the older I get, the more I'm appreciative of exactly where I'm at. And if I ever get an itch for the big city, I can get in my car in about 3 hours and get there. We're pretty centrally located. So yes, so for me, it's been a wonderful ride. And I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do what I'm able to do on TV every night. And again, a lot of that is being a personality and communicating a weather story to our television audience. And I use a lot of really smart people. I've said this over and over again to help me tell that weather story. And so I'm very grateful for all the people around me that help me be better. And I'm still learning. Let me tell you what, I love weather and I learn all the time. Mark has taught me a lot of things, and so have a lot of others in the weather community. So yeah, that's a little bit of my story in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mike. Before I open it up to the panel, I do want to ask you, how do you handle forecast bust? Because I had one of those today.
Yes.
So it's fresh on my mind. How do you handle a forecast bust and the messaging that you get from your viewers related to that?
I roll with it. And oftentimes I'll even make light of it, or I'll just simply mention it. Hey, we missed this. The forecast models didn't come together like we thought that they would, and it was a complete bust. And here we are. We're going to move forward, and this is what we learned from it. And as we move forward, the technology has gotten a lot better. So, especially where we are in Eastern Washington in the desert, our weather is fairly predictable. But oftentimes our biggest challenge comes in snowfall amounts during winter storms as far as how much snow we're going to get, because that's the question that everybody wants to know. And that can be a challenge for us, is determining the snowfall amounts. But yeah, when it's completely off, if it's a real bad blunder, I'll just own it and then move on. But I don't stick around on it for very long. I
You
get
know,
3 minutes to tell a weather story. So
I've kind of found that's what works best for me too. Today it was all about low clouds in Washington D.C. and Baltimore and Richmond, Virginia, and it was just like, well, I didn't know they were there until the sun rose, and
yeah,
I didn't know
absolutely.
how long they were going to last. That's just how it was. Tell
Yeah,
us.
and it's not an exact science, as you know. Weather is not an exact science. So of course, uh, there's going to be some bust in the forecast, and that's what makes it interesting and fun to track and continue to learn about, because we get better as we move on, and the technology is getting better. So yeah, it's I just kind of own it and then move on.
So the Eastern Washington is not commonly thought of for severe weather chasing. Um,
No.
though severe weather does happen in Eastern Washington, but um, more often it's kind of weirder stuff like perhaps tumbleweeds and stuff like that. Can you talk about the tumbleweed drifts that have been problematic in the Tri-Cities recently?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we live in a desert here in the Columbia Basin, and it's very arid, dry climate. So wind is very much a part of our climate here, and we live in an area with a lot of tumbleweeds. So the wind blows often, and these tumbleweeds we often dodge, as Mark knows, tumbleweeds in the springtime, really any time of the year. There's even these memes where they're during the winter time where there's this picture of the tumbleweed snowman, and Christmas in the Tri-Cities. Yeah, I mean, we've had tumbleweeds close highways before. I live in a neighborhood where if you're in a certain part of the area of the neighborhood, you end up with tumbleweeds every time the wind blows, and they actually have a real problem with it. And yeah, it's people. We had someone, it was a viral video that someone video was able to videotape out on Highway 240 of a bunch of tumbleweeds that actually blocked the roadway. Yeah, we get a lot of tumbleweeds. I don't know what else to say about that.
Now, a little known fact: people think
Yeah.
tumbleweeds. They think of this the Wild West, the Old West.
Yeah.
So you always see the tumbleweeds going by in the Old West. It's the 1850s, 1860s. But truthfully, they're an invasive species and weren't around back then. So anytime you see that in a movie, go
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those and in Eastern Washington, Russian olive trees are all over the place, and those were also an invasive species. They were brought for ornamental gardens, and they're just all over the place. And those things are
Yeah.
the worst.
Mm.
So I'm gonna open up to Justin. Justin is in Brandon, Manitoba. He chases storms there, and so I wanted to see what question Justin has over there in Manitoba.
Yes, nice to meet you, Mike. Very
Thank
nice to
you.
meet you. Yes. Just want to touch on the tumbleweeds for a moment. I think Oklahoma and Texas are going to have quite a bit this weekend with all the strong winds happening down there.
Yeah.
But my question for you is, usually a TV weather segment is like 3, 4, 5 minutes long. How long does it take you to formulate your forecast? Like, I'm guessing it probably takes hours, maybe, going through the different TV graphics and stuff. Like, what's that ratio between actual airtime versus time it takes to formulate your forecast?
It's a great question. Yeah, I can do it pretty quickly if I have to, but normally I like to commit at least a couple of hours. I'm kind of a weather nerd anyway, so in the mornings I'll often have the Weather Channel on at home, just to kind of get an idea of what's going on across the country. Even though I don't do any national weather, all of mine is just Northwest focused when I'm on the air. I get to work and I can get it done pretty quickly. Our weather computer is from the weather company. A lot of my maps are automated, but I'll go in there and I'll tweak the temperatures based on other forecasts to make it reflect more of what we typically get. But it's pretty slick. Our computer system is really reliable. And it's pretty good. So, if I have to, I can whip together a forecast pretty quickly. I rely on the weather community off of Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And I follow a lot of the weather people there. And of course, the National Weather Service with their forecast discussion, I read that like it's my Bible because, they're staffed with meteorologists that sit down and write these every day. And so, I'll use that as a resource. Another resource that I use oftentimes is like, for example, Michael Snyder, who is in the Seattle area that does YouTube videos every day that talks about weather in the Northwest as well as California. And he always touches on Eastern Washington and the weather that we have here in the Tri-Cities. Not always, but a lot of the times. So I'll just watch his podcast. Sometimes they're about 15 to 20 minutes long. I'll read, sometimes Mark Ingalls will give his take on the weather here in the basin. And so I'll always read up on that, any resources that I can get. But believe it or not, preparation time for me to get ready to go on air for a 3-minute weather presentation, I can do pretty quickly. I can get all the information I need probably in about a half hour, 45 minutes. But in between all of that, I have radio that I have to send to for some local radio stations. So I send those out. And then we have cut-ins and teases. And then, of course, I have to contribute on social media, Facebook, Twitter. I do some Instagram. And I do have a TikTok, but I don't hardly ever use that. And so as time goes on, a lot of my time and resources are kind of spread out now, and we are being more focused on social media because that's where everybody is. Everybody's on their phone. And so we have to be hyper local. We have to have that presence, and we are definitely getting directed to do that because, again, that's where people are. And so the television audience has shrunk. Back in our day, you had to watch the news to get your weather or even get your news. Now you can get it anytime, all you want. So we have to be hyper local to be to be to make money and to have a job. Our salespeople work hard to make sure that they get that revenue in here so that we can operate as a television station, a small television station, no less, when the audience just is shrinking. So anyway, that was more than what you'd ask, I know. So I can do it in about a half hour, 45 minutes to get everything ready for my newscast.
I think it's a good question too, though, because I think putting it into a 3-minute segment itself is a challenge. Whereas myself as a YouTuber, I make a forecast. It's like I hit record. It might take me 45 minutes or whatever, but I'm like, I can take time to talk about things. So I can kind of do my, I can do my learning as I'm looking at maps and things like, oh, this is what stands out right now, blah, blah, blah. I don't have any pressure to be succinct.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that itself is a challenge that takes time out of your day to narrow it down into what's the meat.
Yeah. And that's the challenge. And that's the art of television, anchoring a weather report on TV when you have 3 minutes, or sometimes I might get 3:30 if it's a big weather day. Sometimes I get less, depending upon what the producer tells us, based on, what news is happening that day. And so I've been doing it so long, I kind of do it on autopilot, so to speak. But the challenge or the art of television broadcasting on TV is that you do have that 3 minutes to tell a weather story, and you have to make sure you tell it in a way that people at home can understand. So it has to be at a 5th or 6th grade level. The real art is if you can explain a complex weather pattern in a way that anybody can understand. That's not easy to do. But if you can do that, and you can get people to tune in to watch you on television, which a lot of people aren't watching television nowadays anyways, that's a good start. Getting better on social media is a great start. A lot of us old TV people aren't used to these social media channels that we're kind of not necessarily being forced to utilize, but we have to. We have to jump on the bus or get left behind. And so I learn a lot from young people that just fire up these YouTube channels and these weather chats, and guys like you that have a real passion for it. And I sit back and go, wow, this is a real skill here that these people are doing, and they're not having, and they're real, they're authentic. You know, television people, weather personalities, I mean, I try to be as authentic as I can, but there's a little showmanship involved. You know, I wear the fun suits and I talk like this sometimes, you know, but the older I get, the more I realize the more authentic I am and the real person I am on the green screen, the better I can communicate the weather story, and the more people can engage with me and feel like they can talk to me. You know, early on when I first did my weather report, I'd go, you know, all right, folks, it's going to be a sunny day out there today. Daytime highs, you know, I'd kind of put my radio voice on. And I realized that that wasn't really who I was. It sounded good and it worked good in radio. But when I just was able to relax a little bit and just kind of be myself, that's where it sort of clicked for me. And it's worked for me pretty well so far. And, you know, no, I'm not a big weather anchor at a big major market. I'm right here serving my community where I truly believe I belong. And I'm just so honored to be able to get to do that. But yeah, I'm going down a rabbit hole here and I apologize, but thank you for giving me that platform. So yeah, you
Well,
know,
that's okay, Mike.
yeah.
I'm gonna move us along to Michael McGregor in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Michael does social media with Justin there in Manitoba, and I know he's got a question for you.
Yeah. So a question about education. If you're to be a meteorologist or pursue down something down the lines of TV meteorology, I'm really bad with math. Honestly, I didn't really do well with pre-calculus in high school, and I, you know, struggle at the time every time I have to think about taking math for university. Are there ways that you can get into broadcast meteorology or broadcast weather without having to go through all those avenues, like basic weather science education or something like that? Is there courses in Winnipeg that offer that where I live?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, you can. You absolutely can. I was terrible at math. I still am. Love science and did pretty good there, but math, yeah, don't ask me to do a lot of math because I'm terrible at it. Um, if you are planning to work for a government agency or the National Weather Service, you know, that 4-year degree and that meteorology degree is almost, you're going to need that. If you are looking to go the radio or TV route, um, you're going to need the 4-year degree most likely. You don't necessarily need the meteorology degree, but you will need personality and a reason for people to tune in and watch you, because that's just TV. It's a visual thing.
Mhm.
And so if you're a good communicator, you can definitely do it without the meteorology degree. Many people have. I mean, you know, some of the great, more well-known weather personalities are not meteorologists. So yes, it's possible.
Mike, I just want to jump in here, Mike. I failed synoptic meteorology, which was math heavy, and I had to retake it, and I almost failed it a second time. Like it was
Wow.
brutal, and the only
Yeah.
reason I didn't fail it that second time, I was failing at the midterm,
Yeah.
and I reached out to the
Okay.
TA, and I was like, "Look, I got here with the math, and I feel like I'll end up here, but I don't really know what to do in the middle." And this TA was so helpful for me
Mm,
they're like, I understand. Um, here's a push in the right direction. I was really good with math in like elementary school, but then I kind of peaked with math in elementary school. Um,
yeah.
but you can definitely do it without the math background. We're running low on time, so I'm gonna run us over to radio weatherman Brandon Hauk.
Yes, I do have a quick question, fairly quick, easy one, fairly easy. What is the greatest weather event that you've ever covered on TV?
Oh boy, that is an excellent question. I would have to say back in 1995, 96, the winter of 95, 96, where we had, and I was in Lewiston, Idaho, and Lewiston got over a foot of snow. Yakima, Tri-Cities got over a foot of snow that winter. Roofs collapsed, and then it was boom, boom, boom. And then we got warming in March and April. We had major flooding here in Eastern Washington. And that was a very active period. So that probably was one of the bigger weather events that I covered and remember. Also, 2019, February, was it 2019 or 18, Mark, where we got all the snow? I'm trying to think here.
I think it was 19.
2019, where we thought we were getting through the winter, just saying, oh, we made it. And then February hit and we had record snowfall. That was another big one. We didn't get quite the flooding that I thought we might with that, but probably that. The biggest weather phenomenon that I can remember, I'm old, folks, you got to remember, was the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. But I was only 10 years old at that time. So that was something.
Where
I
were
got
you
pictures.
at for Mount St. Helens? Were you in
I was in
Yakima?
I was in Yakima. I was at church. It was a Sunday morning. It was a beautiful sunny day, sunny morning, got in, and then all of a sudden the windows started to rattle because there was a little rumble of thunder, and it just got dark and these clouds came through. We didn't know what was going on. I was scared to death. I thought the world was ending. We tried to drive home in it. We couldn't because the ash was so thick in the radiator in the vehicle. We had to turn around and drive back to the church. We had to wait it out till that evening until just as the sun was beginning to set, you could see a break in the clouds, and we drove home. And then I didn't have school for the rest of May, and actually that rest of the year we were done.
How much ash did you guys get? Do you
We
remember?
got up, yeah, it was about 2 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good amount. We were shoveling it for days and days.
In many people, especially in Canada, won't know this. In Yakima, they took all of the ash from the road and like dumped it in this park downtown, and it's like it was a 6 foot high mound of ash that they took the snow plows out and then put it in the park and I think in downtown Yakima. That was a
Yeah.
really incredible event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll
Um,
never ever forget it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I love Mount St. Helens
Yeah.
as also a geologist. So do we have any other questions from the panel? I know we've got Karen Richards here, we got Hilding, we got Imogen. So let's open up the floor.
including my dad, Frank McDonald.
Yeah,
Yes,
Frank
and we have
McDonald,
Frank
you got a
Seary,
question?
Senior.
Sticking to the Mount St. Helens thing, did you actually go out and make ash angels? You know, you make snow angels. Did you
Oh,
make
yeah.
ash angels?
We
Ash
did.
Angels, that's a whole new ball game altogether. That means and how's my dad doing with his music so far?
Yeah.
I'll mute.
Thank you, Frankie.
You're muted, Frank Senior. That's Frankie's dad.
I'm just really
Hey,
impressed
listen,
that you
if you
got to
don't
make
talk
ash
to me,
angels. That's
I'm
incredibly
never gonna
cool.
leave you
That
alone.
means how's your SoundCloud? My father. How's the writing music so far? How's music?
Hello, Frankie McDonald.
I'm doing great so far. How's your SoundCloud working?
Oh, it's working great. So I gotta talk to you, or you won't leave everybody alone, right?
And that means
You're funny.
that means pretty soon Joey Allen will be fighting fires.
Pretty soon I'll be
That's
fighting
right.
fires, Frankie.
Mhm.
There's been a couple in southern BC, but that's outside my jurisdiction. But not only will I soon be fighting fires, soon I gotta be going back and renewing some certifications, taking some courses and stuff like that again, right? So part of being a firefighter is keeping those credentials up to date.
And did you hear
Yeah.
how was my dad doing with his SoundCloud?
Doing great. Nice to see Joey Only Show doing so great. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. And Joey Allen's doing great. Brandon Helk's doing great. And it was a
Yes.
special guest. The guy who works in the news station was a special guest tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike
A very
McCabe.
special guest. That's right. Yeah.
That's
Been
been a
an
really good
honor.
episode.
It's been
That
great.
Yes,
means
sir.
my father's writing a lot of music lately.
I've just been here jamming on the guitar the whole time everybody's been talking, and yeah.
Yeah, me too. In fact, that reminds me, I should say this out there in case anyone's listening and wants to go to Ignite the Arts Festival at the very end of this month. I don't know what on the Friday or Saturday when I'm playing or performing, but you can get 20% off tickets for the whole festival in Penticton, BC if you have the promo code Caribou Weather Dude, all one word, capital letters, Caribou Weather Dude. So Go to ignitethearts.ca and get your tickets for what's going to be an amazing weekend. 60 artists there. And of course, Paul and Julie, who founded Ignite the Arts Festival, they are the very ones that started the Arts Wells Festival right here in Wells, BC. So a little, Joey's coming out of retirement. I'm coming specifically for that festival. Right. So I've been playing again. Frank Sr. doing it. It's going well. Yeah. Should we watch the Frankie video of the week? I got 2 Frankie videos lined up, Frankie, because we're short on time this week's special episode. But we got 2 Frankie videos to show you, Mike McCabe, to give you an idea of why Frankie McDonald is indeed the greatest weatherman in the entire world.
2 videos. It's 2 videos like the Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Edmonton. That's it.
I got just the 2 lined up for now, Frankie. I got this one.
Wait a minute, I'm mute.
Yeah, we don't have sound, Joey.
Oh no! Okay. You know what happens is when I switch between sharing from my computer and sharing. There we go.
Tornado siren.
There we go.
Look out, Oklahoma! Look out, Alabama this weekend! Look out, everybody in Louisiana!
Hey, if you're not running now, you'll never run.
Frankie McDonald.
This is Frankie McDonald, my old TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorms head towards Edmonton, Alberta on Thursday, March 13, 2025. It's going to bring 15 to 20 centimeters of snow or more. It's going to bring a lot of snow. It's going to bring really dangerous and treacherous driving conditions. It's going to bring blown snow, drifted snow, reduced visibility, really dangerous driving conditions. Streets, roads, highways, and Trans-Canada Highway Yellowhead 16 will be snow covered in Edmonton and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring a lot of snow. It's going to bring really dangerous driving conditions in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding areas as well. I want every single person in Edmonton, Alberta to be prepared. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Edmonton and the surrounding areas as well. That can cause snow drifts as well. People in Edmonton, Alberta, be prepared. Heavy winter boots, winter jackets, hats and gloves, scarf and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy case of Pepsi, buy case of Coke. Do your grocery shopping, don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure you have your smartphones, cell phones, laptops, tablets, charge every 3G, 4G, and 5G and LTE ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive a car, slow down, so you don't get in a car accident. So when you go for a walk, be very careful walking, see adults if you fall. Make sure if your furnace and heat pumps are ready in. Turn on your furnace and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea to keep you warm. Have for extra blankets ready to keep you warm as well. Make sure if your shovels, snow scoops, snowblowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If you everybody living in Edmonton, Alberta, be prepared for a major snowstorm on Thursday, March 13, 2025. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major snowstorm. Stay warm and be safe.
Frankie McDonald, Dogs and
Yay.
Wolves. You can find him on YouTube. He's got over 300,000 subscribers now. He is the man of the hour. Any last questions for Mike McCabe? One person in Shelly is now Shelly in our chat here on Caribou Weather Dude YouTube there. She's a long-time watcher, long-time supporter, and she was wondering what your favorite kind of weather event was.
Well, thunderstorms.
Everyone's going to say that on this panel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're in the wrong place for that, Mike.
Yeah, you know how we love those. I love them. We don't get a lot of them either, so I'm jealous for a lot of you folks that get more than we do. We don't get them a lot. Have to go down to Eastern Oregon to get more of those, but
it
was a real bummer. We had a good severe thunderstorm outbreak in Central Oregon in 2020. And Mike's producer would not let him come storm chase with me.
Oh, I remember that.
We were ready to go. I was like, Mike, we're gonna drive down to Bend. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then he texted me that morning. He's like, my producer's worried about it and wants me to stay in town.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot about that, but I remember it now. Yeah, that was crazy. That was something.
The producer
produced
the old saying. He said the old saying, "Don't go storm chasing with Mark." Producers like,
hey, say what you want, but we got some ping pong ball sized hail. We narrowly avoided gust front that was producing 125-mile-an-hour winds. That's about 200 kilometers an hour. So we did pretty well down
Yeah, you
there
did.
outside Madras, Oregon, and it's too bad that Mike could not come along.
I know. I'm still bummed about that.
And
Wait
in your
another
defense,
15 years.
Yeah.
In your defense, if maybe you had a little flub with Washington D.C.'s weather today, them, but you did call chance of water spouts 4 days out in our group chat, and I forgot to mention it in my forecast video last night, knowing because I was like, oh yeah, the post-frontal zone, yeah. Good quote from Mark. I got to remember that one and say that later this week, and then the funnel cloud happens, and I could have been the guy saying to everybody, funnel cloud.
I'm gonna be salty about that for a while. That and before we moved here, there was somebody got a picture of the water spout right in the bay here too. So, I think I'll have opportunities here in the future. But Mike, you get land spout tornadoes. Those are nice. You seen one yet?
No, I have never seen one.
I
would love to, but yeah, no, I'm always stuck here inside the studio.
Yeah,
you do climb up on the roof
every now and then. Yep.
Every time I've seen a tornado, I thought, why did I waste all my time coming for this? It's it's overrated.
Yeah.
I don't think Justin would agree with you on
that. So I do have one last question. So as a TV weatherman, what are your quick thoughts on the storm chasing bill in Oklahoma? Do you have any thoughts on that, or have you read into it too much?
I haven't read into the storm chasing bill. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would have to read up more on that. I'm not educated enough to make a statement about that yet or not. I've heard of it, but
what you don't know, Mike, is that we were going to have Weather Nerd Fight Night tonight.
Yeah,
on this issue.
I'm kind of in favor of it, and Justin's not, and we've been getting heated in the group chat.
We were going to have fight night on this topic.
It would be interesting as somebody who works in the TV industry, to see.
Well, now I'm intrigued, and I'm going to educate myself on it. I hadn't heard of it, to be truthful, honestly with you.
What it does is it favors legacy media, like a media that you work with, to run stop signs or red lights and go past barriers and stuff versus your social media chasers who will not be able to do that. It basically, you have to have a storm chasing license, and that can only be granted to basically news media.
And I think that no one should be allowed to do those things, period.
That's the gist of it.
Because I'm a wildland firefighter. I'm like, we have safety rules, and I believe in that. So anyways, it was going to be fight night, but then Mark was like smoke and mirrors. He's like, well, let's bring a TV meteorologist in and change the subject.
There we go.
I thought about that earlier this week, and I thought, who I want to have on is Mike McCabe. That's who I wanted to have on.
It's been great.
First guest I've ever brought onto the show, Mike McCabe.
Wow, I feel so honored. I really do, especially being with a group of such smart people. You guys are awesome.
So we're gonna wrap the radio episode here, but we're gonna keep going on with the live stream if you're available for a little while longer, Mark.
If you want to follow me on social media, my blue sky is at Frankie MacD. My ex formerly Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie McDowell. My threads is at Frankie MacD 1984. My Facebook is Frankie McDowell 1984. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 1984. My TikTok is Frank Down 1984. My Clapper is Frank Down 1984. My Twitch is Frank Down 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECDY. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie McDowell. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Down. You listen to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Atlantic.
Did you get all that? That's the Comedeorological Report. Listening to us on C4 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKW 95.9.
And for the last person, my dad, about the weather in Halifax.
How's the weather in Halifax, Frank?
The weather in Halifax is great right now. It's going to go up to like 10 or 11 degrees for the next 3 days. And it's great. It was nice to see everybody. It was nice to see Frankie and,
And the guy that works in the news stations in the States.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
See him too.
It's nice to meet you, Mike.
It's nice to meet you too.
And really on nice CFBX 92.5 FM.
Yeah.
In Kamloops. I'm still I'm still doing station IDs here, and you've been listening to us on Apple and Spotify. What else, Mark?
Have a good night.
Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and Castbox. That's where you can find us on the internet. If you're not
And
blessed to live in Kamloops or Prince George or Winnipeg.
which, yeah, I mean, nobody would generally consider that being blessed to be in any of those towns. It's like the bottom of the list in Canada. It's like, where do you want to live? Like, no, well, not Williams Lake. So yeah, maybe there's a couple towns
Hey,
lower.
it's not Hamilton.
Hamilton used to, well, I don't know, but when I went to university, Hamilton was a very fun town, rock and roll town. It was great. Great, man. I had so much fun in Hamilton.
Mark, you were up really late tonight.
Well, I brought on my guest. Actually, I'm gonna go to bed. So,
What about the other guy, Hilding? How's where Hilding is at?
Yeah, this is Mike's lunch break, by the way. He's
Hey,
off
yeah.
at 6:30, on at 11. So
No, it's been great. It's worth every bit of it. I am gonna grab something. I don't know. Probably Popeyes. I've never been to Popeye.
Oh, you get the popcorn chicken. Oh, he's gone. He's devoted.
What about the other guy, Hilding? How's the weather in your area?
Oh no, he left.
That is the end of my.
Hilding's here.
He left before Frankie.
Hi, Hilding. How's the weather in your area?
Oh, we've had, let's see, yesterday morning it started to snow, and we've had about 3 centimeters of snow and a real cold north wind until this afternoon. It's to west, but the wind wasn't like, it's only been like -5 at the coldest in the past 3 days, so it's very bearable. It's and it was nice because we had our first calf yesterday, and he didn't get hypothermia, so I'm happy for that.
First calf, and that's that. Okay, let's keep going though. Let's keep going. I'm in favor of chat and seeing. There's so many of us here, and people didn't get to talk much. And I know Justin, if you got any even graphics to show off, and Hilding, if you got images, we can, feel free to put them up. Use that share button down there and put them up, and let's talk about the weather coming through Manitoba. Mike, Justin, everybody,
Yeah,
just
I actually
free
just
for all. Do whatever the fuck you
created a
want.
weather blog on that, and got some graphics. If Justin wants to pull it up, I posted a link in the Weather Center Manitoba chat. I'd rather him do it on his computer because mine is low tech HP. It looks like a Colorado low system's coming up from the United States, and we can bring with it some freezing rain tomorrow afternoon. Latest models are hinting anywhere between 1 and 5 millimeters of rain. There is a possibility with this system that areas of southeastern Manitoba could also see some rain and some thunderstorms in the warm sector tomorrow afternoon. General 200 to 500 joules per kilogram of CAPE is possible, and then after that system moves east during the overnight time frame, and it's going to bring with it that snow and blowing snow. Not anything significant for accumulations, but if you're really wanting to see that really good solid snowfall, I think where time is done for all of that. I don't see much accumulations other than some sections of the Red River Valley getting maybe a couple of 10, maybe 5 or 10 centimeters of snow. But for the most part, the system looks like it's going to bypass us to the southeast in Minnesota, where they're going to get slammed by the looks of it on that graphic. Holy, look at that low 982.
Yeah, it gets
supposed
into
to
the
go down to
970s.
977 or something.
It's a bomb, effectively.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin? What do you got on this one? You probably have some graphics and stuff too. Justin from Weather Center Manitoba. Make sure you go subscribe to his YouTube channel, everybody.
Thanks. Yeah, let me share my screen here.
Hopefully I touched on some valid points there.
Yes. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
I think so. This is the latest NAM model, the 0Z run, and Manitoba will get slammed pretty hard. This is northern Manitoba over the next 2 to 3 days. Looks like Flin Flon, the Paw, northeast towards Thompson and Gillam. Looking at up to maybe 40 centimeters of snow, and then that heads up to Joe Stover up in Churchill. 20 to 30 centimeters. And look at over Hudson Bay, the polar bears will be trudging through half a meter of snow potentially as that Colorado low heads up into Hudson Bay on Sunday. And there's going to be a lot of strong winds also on the backside of this system. So probably looking at a blizzard here along the Hudson Bay coastline, especially Saturday into Sunday. But in terms of southern Manitoba, it looks pretty clear.
Can I ask you how you got that draw tool?
Yeah, this is Google Chrome. It's like an extension. It's called I can't remember what it's called, but if you go to like the extensions on Chrome and put in like draw screen draw or draw on screen, there's a few of them.
I need to stop using Firefox.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool extensions there, and it works pretty well.
So
I don't like that it shows up there, but then I can just remove my writing by clicking there. So
often when I'm making videos, I wish I could just do it simply instead of doing it after the fact or in post-production.
Right.
It's crazy, Justin, is yesterday the weather model was hinting at an ice storm in the Red River Valley, and now that's backed off to like only 5 or 6 millimeters of rainfall and freezing rain. It was like hitting at something like 30 millimeters the other day or something.
Yeah, here's the winds here Sunday late afternoon, especially over Hudson Bay. But you can see these little feathers here. We got quite the strong wind blasting the Churchill, York Factory, Shamattawa, Gillam areas here on Sunday. Probably looking at wind gusts out of the northwest with all that fresh accumulation of snow. Going to be a full-out blizzard. Probably wind gusts gusting 70 to 80 kilometers an hour out of the northwest on Sunday. So,
right
Matt, hopefully...
called that a blizzard in my video last night, so that's I love
Yeah.
when someone says what I said. It makes me happy.
I'm hoping that Joe can shoot some video for us and send it into the channel. That would be awesome.
I think so too.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him. Anyway, I think that's what I got for now. There's also total lunar eclipse coming overnight, but let's see. This was the latest satellite imagery, and you could just see all these clouds in the States coming up to ruin the show in Manitoba. So,
yeah.
Although I just came back home from work, and there's kind of some high cirrus cloud. You can see the moon through it, so there might be an opportunity around 2 a.m. I'll have to either stay up till then or set an alarm and hope for the best.
It's pretty overcast here in Wells right now.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
like the overcast is in the valley. It's like
right, like fog, really low
almost.
ceiling.
Yeah, it's like it's thick up.
I mentioned
Always when there's
something
a
about
great
I mentioned something about power outage risk in the southeast part of Manitoba because of the freezing rain potential.
There could be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be something straight out of like an analog year we're looking at. 1984 had something similar. They had like an ice storm, about 15 millimeters of ice
Well, that
in
doesn't
April of
surprise
that
me,
year.
'cause everything's 1984 lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if some of those heavier bands can set up around Winnipeg east through the Whiteshell area down towards Sprague, I think there could be 5 to 10 millimeters of freezing rain. Probably not that much ice accretion because there's going to be some melting, but definitely 2 to 3 millimeters of ice accretion probably. Looks like some snow there in BC. Wow.
Yeah, well, not in the low country, but looks like the valley bottom. No, like so there's river between Castlegar and Nelson there, of course, right?
Yeah.
Mostly, and so in the high country, in the mountains, looks like absolutely, and that's heavy. That's a lot of snow falling down up there. That's a good solid band, I'd have to say, in that whole stretch. And that's the Valhalla mountain range right there. And that's sort of connected to the Monashees, more or less. So not a whole lot going on. BC
I've been so
side.
jealous of all the videos you've been posting of like the monster snowflakes falling down. I'm like, I miss that weather already.
Well, that's the only thing I like about this weather anymore.
Right.
But we'll be getting those big snowflakes still, like at the end of April, and you'll be like, man, I'm so jealous. I'll be like, yeah, thanks.
Just drags on. Yeah.
Forever, dude.
And it's like literally happening in the middle of the nowhere. Like there's barely any people that live up there. So they're probably just getting snowed on in like forested regions.
There we go. There's some of that freezing rain already in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's the
South
rate.
of
The
there, I think.
opposite of those big snowflakes yesterday. I had snowflakes so fine that you couldn't see them,
Wow.
and yet you could feel them on your face, but it wasn't sleet. It was actual snowflakes. They were just the smallest snowflakes I've ever seen. I actually told Karen it had stopped snowing and went outside and found out, oh no, it is still snowing.
Well, I really wish I was there, Hilding, because those snowflakes are the best to photograph. They're those little thin film interference, like little plate snowflakes.
Yeah.
Those are the best to photograph.
Yeah, it would have been just perfect for. There was no wind or anything. You could have caught them out on a sheet real nice. Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta invest in a camera like
I'm
yours,
preoccupied
Justin.
with my new calf.
Check that out. Yeah, heavy
was that,
snow.
Michael?
On my video last night was talking about Bonnyville, talking about the snow coming to Bonnyville, Alberta. Talking about my time hanging out there at Bonnyville.
There we
And,
go.
the time we had Malcolm McLean's cowboy wedding there was totally fucking wild. It's unbelievably fun weekend. Yeah,
And
it's like,
all that's just going northeast into Manitoba over the next few days.
It looks like a bear on radar, actually. Notice how it's kind of got that forward face and then a long leg, long
I
arm.
see a velociraptor or something there.
I was like thinking an eagle or something. Yeah, something. I don't know.
I mean, that's a bad drawing. Like, that's Joey. He went to art school, but I find drawing with the mouse to be the hardest thing ever.
It is. Like
Like,
you don't know how many times I try and draw a perfect arrow because I'm going to take a screenshot of the radar and make a post on the Weather Center page. Like I redo it probably like 15 times before I get that perfect arrow.
It's not easy. And, I went to art school, man. Like I'm ambidextrous. Like, that's my arrow. Just whatever. So there you go.
Yeah.
Heavy snow heading out by Canoe Lake, Saskatchewan there. Canoe Lake, eh?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, Canoe Lake. That's a boat lake there near Canoe Lake there. It's like I just find sometimes the names of things are so funny. It's
And we've had some snow recently, but man, during the day, those solar rays are just getting stronger every day as we get towards spring. That even though it's cloudy, it's just melting. We had 2 centimeters overnight, and it's pretty much all melted. And even though the temperature didn't get much warmer than -5 throughout the day.
Looks
Yeah,
like
and
we
we had
found
some snow.
found some more freezing rain close to Foam Lake. I always thought that was funny too. Foam Lake.
We've had some
Might head
ice
towards
pellets or like little pellets of snow grains today. Like this afternoon, there was some. I don't know what we call those grapple, but it's coming down in little bits of like circles, ice balls.
Right.
It's like normally this time of year you're getting like solid days where it's snowy and then it melts and then it rains a little bit, but we're just getting like sun and melting. Like it's crazy.
So if you're there at Fishing Lake, look out. There's freezing rain coming towards your ice fishing hut there.
Ain't nobody fishing there right now.
Fishing Lake. I don't see a lake at all. Oh, I see this
little bit.
This sort of runoff of cow piss and industrial farming runoff. And you call a lake in Saskatchewan.
I do have to say though, this Colorado low is so unique because its placement where it's coming up into southern Minnesota would be like the perfect placement to just slam southern Manitoba with like the half a meter of snow that northern Manitoba is going to be getting, but it's just not there. The moisture, the snowfall is not going to be there with this system. So we honestly really dodged a bullet across southern Manitoba with this one.
Blame Trump's tariffs.
You
The moisture's tariff to can't come in.
You got a little bit of snow there by Little Butthead, Manitoba.
If you go further southeast, there's really a weird town. It's called Bloodvein, Manitoba. It's somewhere in that area. I don't know. Maybe it won't show up on the map.
Gull
Oh, it's up.
Harbor.
It was further. Was it up? No, further north there, north of Gull Harbor.
I just, yeah.
And there's
You know
also
you're hard up
Gull.
for
There's
wildlife when you're.
also Gull Lake.
You
It's
know
in the
you're hard
middle
up
of
for
two
wildlife when you're
highways.
naming fucking harbors after seagulls. Like,
There's a lake named Gull Lake, and it's between two highways, Highway 59 and Highway 44. It's at a really weird spot.
I've been there.
I have
Like,
not.
like I say, you gotta name so many things after seagulls. It's like, man, the prairies are really short on wildlife.
There's some rain coming up there. I'm really surprised that northern Manitoba, there's not more warnings. Like I'm kind of like really Environment Canada. Like I really thought there would have been warnings stretching all the way up to Churchill, and I don't know what they're waiting for. Like it's been so consistent that I feel like there should be winter storm warnings for Thompson and up to Gillam, and maybe Churchill should be in a blizzard warning already. But hopefully they'll
I
be issued.
find some of their decisions really questionable at times, man.
Yeah, honestly, and it's nothing bad, but it's just what I'm seeing is gets different from what they're seeing. But yeah. Anyway.
A little bit of squall there by Alexis Creek. Sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes I scratch my head at their decision or they're waiting or, where sometimes like for a week, I'm telling you there's going to be a snowstorm in this place.
Right.
And for a week, and then it's like 12 hours beforehand, we're still waiting. And then like 4 hours beforehand, the warning goes up or something, right? And it's like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It's so frustrating because like in that Thompson area and like there's ice roads up there and like there's a lot of lakes. People are ice fishing this weekend or snowmobile derbies, and it's like people wait for these warnings to be issued before they postpone or cancel their trip or whatever. Like this is a serious storm that it can, cause some damage. So these warnings need to be out, I believe, more in advance than just a day or so.
I think so. I think it kind of, and from their point of view, it's like, well, if we overwarn and things don't happen,
Right.
then,
But that's where like guys like you and I, like in the private sector, like we're filling those gaps. We're giving more lead time, whereas Environment Canada is more, day of kind of thing. So we all work together.
Well, it's like we
guys
could
like to
utilize
save
the
your
special
ass.
weather statement phenomenon more, though. That's the thing. That's maybe what I'm getting at. Is you don't have to necessarily issue warnings ahead of time, but you can make blanket special weather statements saying,
Exactly.
4 days ahead of time, even saying, hey, we expect there to be a large series of weather phenomenon moving through. Exactly who gets warnings, we don't know. But it's like, I think they should expand a little bit more on the usage of that. And I think I think instead of me being the one kind of doing that as a public person or you doing that.
Right. Especially on a weekend. Like a lot of people are traveling on the weekend. I mean, during the weekday too, people have to go to work, but more of that touristy traveling on the weekends.
Well, if you die going to work, that's just expected. That's part of the job. But if you die on the weekend, then you might kill your family too, and that's terrible.
And even though there's 50 centimeters, the boss still wants you to come to work anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
They did actually issue a snowfall warning for Chisel Lake. I just saw this on their website. They said that rapidly accumulating snowfall. Wait, that's not the point of it. It says the snow will taper off from West Days Friday into Friday night across Saskatchewan, and all they say is the snow will linger longer in Manitoba.
Yeah, I finally got one up for western Manitoba now.
The paw and Flin Flon finally.
Yeah. So yeah,
I just wish they would have expanded it further northeast because it's not like it's going to die out or anything. Like the Colorado Low's going into Hudson Bay, it's going to get worse toward Churchill. So I don't know.
You know what's funny is back in 2004, they would issue winter storm watches for a storm within about a week in advance. I remember that one that we had in May of 2004. They issued a winter storm watch within about a week, or it was like 3 or 4 days before it hit, and we got hit hard. It caused a little bit of chaos, of course, at May long weekend in May. But I think ever since the Conservatives have cut funding for a lot of the people for Environment Canada back, a few years back, there's been less coordination and less work to issue these alerts in advance, and it bothers me. that we're the ones now having to inform people about these things.
Well, none of these places had a watch ahead of time, did they?
No, they didn't. No.
It's just straight warning. And so I'm seeing that a lot. Maybe like there's just something that seems off to me. Like, how many people do you have working? Or, what's going on? Let's put some money into this, everybody, government.
Right.
So the overflowing river here, there you go. The overflowing river, great name.
It'll really be overflowing when all that snow melts.
I just thought of everything. They thought of everything in Manitoba for names. They ran into names of Moose Lake, South Moose Lake.
31A, 31G, 31D.
Okay, Clear Lake,
Yeah,
Clear Bay.
funny.
It's like, yeah, they really put a lot of effort into naming things in this province when colonization was like, let's just change the names of everything because we're too ignorant to learn these words that have like 15 letters in them.
Right.
The traditional names, eh? It's like- and I'll be honest, some of those First Nations names up there are pretty hard to read sometimes.
Yeah, I can't pronounce. Like when I'm doing a live stream, it's like I'm like, oh, Flin Flon and the Paw, like because it's near all these other weird names. So if it's hitting there, it's gonna hit you guys.
All these other weird names. Yeah.
My great aunt, I think her name is like Medicine.
Like, that's a really long word. It's
kind of cutting out there, Mike.
That's true. Kospatchek. If you live near there, you'd have time to learn this.
Hey,
right?
I'll just say Granville Lake. There you go.
It's like if you lived there, you'd have time to learn that. If I lived at Granville Lake, I'd be like, well, I got all my life to learn how to say this word.
Rusty Lake.
It's not
Rusty
so bad.
Lake?
I can do that. But as a guy who's just trying to read names off the map on the go, sometimes I'm like, holy fuck.
Like all the tourists that come over here and try to say they're going to go spend the weekend at Takasi Lake.
Takaisi?
Takaisi.
Yeah, Takaisi.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's just tough, because in the summertime, I'm almost the opposite. I'm like, man, we need to not issue as many warnings because here in Brandon, like Star FM and some of these local radio stations, 101 the farm or whatever it used to be called, there's a severe thunderstorm warning, and it doesn't even have like, I could see if the severe thunderstorm warning has like potential for like 120 wind gusts or baseball sized hail, but just like your general severe thunderstorm warning is coming on the radio with the tornado siren, like with the siren, severe thunderstorm warning. It's like people are getting numb to these warnings in the summer. Like when there's actually like a bad warning, like a F5 tornadoes coming into Brandon and like the sirens are going off, nobody's going to care because we've had 20 severe thunderstorm warnings and we've cried wolf so many times, nothing's happened. And it's really a touchy subject, I guess, when you get into
Same thing with
well, if you don't
Winnipeg, you get like tornado alerts for Steinbach while we're in Winnipeg, or tornado alerts for Stonewall while we're in Winnipeg. I'm like,
it's the
they
cell
really need to fix They really need to fix the system.
It's because you're close enough to the cell tower that, like in Winnipeg, like if Steinbach, like say you're just close enough, then people in Winnipeg will get that because it's pinging off the cell tower. So that's why that happens. But I do agree that we need to look at that. Like, I don't know, maybe like using satellites like for warnings. I have no idea, but it's got to get
Starlink, maybe Starlink.
Breaking news. People in Kikak-Tarjuak are celebrating a new record high that was set today. The old one was in 1966. They broke it by 0.4 at Kikak-Tarjuak.
Wow.
Nunavut. There you go.
-9.
See, some of these words I can read. But sometimes I'm reading reading some random place across Canada. You're like, holy, that's a lot.
And then I think in Newfoundland there's a street called this street, that street, and the other street.
I can't believe there's still people watching. I forgot.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
I forgot we're broadcasting. Yeah.
I guess we're entertaining enough that people want to watch us.
17 people, and out of 8 billion, that's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things about us Canadians is we should be grateful that we do have a weather service that's still functioning. United States Weather Service members, United States Weather Services are like literally falling apart right now. The whole administration. That's another story for another day. But still, it just irks me they're firing so many people from National Weather Service offices.
Especially with that outbreak this weekend. Oof, that looks bad. Like, it's been a long time since I've been kind of looking through the model data and like clicking on the models and finding soundings, and every single one is PDS, 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 like potentially dangerous situation tornado. Like, it's going to be bad Saturday. I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a couple images from Reed Timmer and whatnot we could look at here. I think on my so I don't know, this is still going on. Apparently it's so cloudy here, but apparently it's the eclipse tonight, and so people, flat earthers everywhere, are very excited.
That is golden. That is so good.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah. The cruelty of humanity. It's agonizing to watch. You literally have to be mentally ill to ignore it. But if you don't ignore it, it will literally make you mentally ill. Yeah. So where is it? Oh yeah, here's some good news. Elon's gonna go aboard the next manned space flight on a Starship, he says. So here we can hope for. He says that will finally shut our mouths. Hopefully, it will shut his mouth. May something exploding happen.
I saw that graphic that you had there showing the SPC thunderstorm outlook. I'm hearing from a lot of people that it's likely to go high risk on Saturday. Looking likely changing up to a high risk. It's been a while since we've had a high risk day.
You almost never see that. And that's what people don't understand. It's like when they see moderate risk, they're like, oh, well, that's nothing.
That's like serious. Moderate's like Canada's high risk.
Yeah, it's like something about that wording just. It's like, is that the best you could do on a 1 to 5 scale? Marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, high? It's like something about that. It's like
enhanced almost sounds worse than moderate.
Yeah, it does
Honestly.
to me.
Yeah.
Moderate is middle. Moderate should be 3. Should be the middle.
Moderate should be 3, enhanced should be 4, and high risk should be 5. It should be 3. I don't know how to create these graphics, but someone probably didn't drink coffee when they were making this.
How I try to describe it to non-weather people is if it says moderate risk, that's whether, that's if weather people are saying moderate risk, that's human language for holy shit, look out. So there's like a disconnect to me on that one, right? It's like to us moderate means whoa. So to me, like, that's lost.
Jasper,
Don't you think?
say hello.
What do you think, Jasper? Is moderate risk the wrong word for number 4?
Yeah,
What do you
that
think,
face says so.
What do you think, Jasper? Let's look at his face. Come on,
Jasper,
so we can see you.
Look. Oh, he doesn't want to look. Over here. There you go. Hi, everybody. Hello.
You're like teaching him to watch TV. You're like, come on, stare at the TV.
Uh-oh. No, don't look at screens. I'm not a bad parent.
Stare at the screen. That's cute. What a sweetie, man. Rosy cheeks, rosy nose. He's like something out of a.
There's a smile.
Something out of like Oliver Twist era story,
Yeah.
Victorian. A Victorian. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a Victorian era baby.
Yeah.
Rosy nose.
That's like perfect skin. Yeah,
Perfect skin.
Well, we've really gone off the rocker here for you guys watching. Started on with weather, and now we're on baby talk.
That was a good show, man. It was a lot of fun tonight. Man, Mike McCabe, super cool.
We should have John Sauter on if we can get a hold of him.
Well, do it. Yeah. Do it, and I meant to ask him, like, I had opportunity to ask. You never have a weather guy, like that on the show too often. So like we had a chance to ask him some really deep questions you never get to ask a guy like that. And like
Love
for example,
it.
when you're the weather guy at a TV station, you have to go to work every day knowing you're going to be the smartest person in the room all day long. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome to be able to have him on the show and ask those questions because like I've always wondered, like you're on for 3 minutes and it's like hours of work goes in just for 3 minutes of airtime.
To me, 3 minutes is way harder than it's like
It
the
is.
hardest format.
I cannot narrow things down. It's like every YouTube video, I'm like, I want to make it less time so more people will watch for longer. And like yesterday, 20-minute video. Oh, whatever. There's a lot to go through, I guess.
Well, it's like you'll be on the YouTube there, and it'll be just a Weather Network video comes up. It's like catastrophic atmospheric river level 5, and it's a 2 minute and 20-second long video. And you're like, you can only think of 2 minutes and 20 seconds worth of things to say.
I
It's
know,
like,
right?
so I get if you're on CBS and it's like you're on the news and like you're this kind of a side hustle going on in the news. It's not like, but the Weather Network is the weather channel, that's
Yeah.
what they fucking do.
And
That's
it
what they
sucks
do.
because you make a 20-minute YouTube video and then like the average view time is like 3 minutes. It's like, oh, come on, you guys. Where in the video did I lose you? Is it because I was going over the same model like 4 times and you guys were like, oh, I got the gist already. Like, just need to learn how to break things down better, I think. But
Yeah, that's one thing. My viewers tend to watch all the way through the episode so they can spend more time trolling me and telling me how stupid I am. And if they only watch 2 minutes, that's like, all this time they could have been spending
right.
making a punching bag out of me.
Spending actually making your video profitable.
Yeah, exactly. We want more watch time on the videos, that's for sure.
That's true. I should embrace
You'll
the
have to
hate.
have me on for some comedy, Justin, because I'm really good with my accents. I got Irish, I got Scottish, and I've got Texan now.
I like
apparently.
the Texan. Yeah.
Mike. Well, that's right. We're thinking of impressions. Like first thing that comes to mind is Mike.
And there you go, Mike. You were asking the other Mike if you could make it in the TV business without knowing math, and he said you just need to have a personality. So there you go.
I already got an on-air personality for electronic music, so I mean nothing's impossible when you put your mind to it.
I'm still working on it. Personality. It's like that's a tough one. Like I don't know. I'll never get there.
I've been working on my thumbnails. I think I've been turning up the thumbnail game pretty good.
Yeah.
Someone posted something funny. If Canada is facing a housing crisis, why not construct more homes within the highlighted area of northern Canada? So my phone is all blurred. I'll have to send it to the group.
Nobody wants to live there. It's too cold. The calves won't survive, Hilding. The calves won't survive.
Farmers just have to get in their tractors and drive to Arizona.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, I'm gonna head off, guys. I gotta go and eat. I'm hungry, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Hilding, that was a very cute calf. The picture that you sent, very cute.
Well, they always start cute, and that's what we were talking about there last episode. I don't think I quite finished the story off because we were saying how Emily Matson's cow, it was a calf, and then of course it was cute at first, but then as it got older and it got bigger, well, eventually it's like this 400-pound thing, and it's trying to get in the house to see mom.
Yeah.
It was pretty problematic.
All nose is all running and everything. Just
yeah.
Bye, guys. I'll be seeing you guys next week.
Good night,
my
Mike.
Irish
Good one, Mike.
accent. I'll
Good
bring my
night, Mike.
Irish accent next week.
You got a week to work on it. There you go. So yeah, it's like they're so cute when they're born, And then at 5 months old, they got like you say, like fucking snotty, runny noses there. You're like, man, just die and get on my plate already. You're always in the way.
My wife knows because she grew up on a farm, and we're going there, like I said, Hilding, this weekend for her birthday party. So be able to get a lot of footage and pictures of the calves they got there over in around Verdun, Manitoba. So look forward to that.
I'll be interested to see that then.
Yeah, they have quite a. How many cows do your parents have, Rachel? Oh, like 300 something cattle.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot. That's a pretty big amount.
Well, I've
Just giving the viewers out there an
300
idea.
some in a winter already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giving the viewers out there an idea for if you have a neighbor who's like 51st state, 51st state. Just get yourself one of these sandals.
Yes.
Or you chicken bomb them. That's what you do, is you chicken bomb them. You don't fight them. That's what Bob Wayne taught me.
Or you do like old school. You got a paper bag with poop in it, light it on fire, leave it on the doorstep, knock on the door, and then.
Oh, the chicken bomb's even better though. You don't even understand the power of the chicken bomb. This was taught to me by like the real legit outlaw country music legendary crew. Hank Williams III's best friend there, Bob Wayne. I went on tour with them. We did 16 shows back in 2008, playing all across Canada. Us opening for Bob Wayne and the Outlaw Carnies. And that was a really good time. And Bob Wayne, we got ripped off on a gig there. They didn't want to pay us what we'd agreed to. It was contractually obligated to pay us. So they're trying to be cheap about it and spend the money on cocaine there. The bouncers, this and that. And we didn't have no part of it. And we ended up getting our money in the end, actually. Long story short. But Bob was like, don't fight them, calm down. We'll just chicken bomb them, And I was like, what the fuck's a chicken bomb? I finally asked Bob, right? And he told me, and of course he was American, so he's all funny about it because he's like, they don't know stuff, so they say things really weird, He's like, first he's like, oh, you use a chicken, one of them little chickens, or I was like, a Cornish hen. He's like, yeah, Cornish hen, or you can use one of them ham cocks. I was like, a ham cock? He's like, yeah, I was like, you mean a ham hock? He's like, yeah, a ham hock. I was like, okay, well, what do you do with the ham cock? And he says, so he tells us, this is what Sheldon, Hank Williams III, did back in the day when they didn't get paid. And so we went and started to buy the ingredients to make a chicken bomb. And so what the chicken bomb is you take a mason jar and you put the Cornish hen or the ham cock in it. And then you get buttermilk, like the super ultra fattiest buttermilk, and you put it in the jar, right? And you seal it. And then, so if it's a venue, for example, that's been ripping a lot of musicians off and they're cheap and all the staff's on cocaine and this place totally sucks, what you do is you go send one of your drummer or somebody into the bathroom and they go up and they stand on the toilet and they lift the ceiling tile and they put the chicken bomb up there and then they close the ceiling tile and just leave the chicken bomb up there. And it takes a few months. The festering, putrid, rancid, disgusting, coagulating, rotting, curdling milk and chicken or ham cock. You could put both in if you had a big enough jar, I suppose. You could put ham cock or a chicken in. And then eventually the pressure from all the bacteria actually will bust the glass.
It's the jar.
Wow. Holy.
And then, of course, you have this rotten buttermilk stuff that's been festering for months. And what it does, Justin, is it stinks like death and nothing will get it off anything it touches.
Ew.
Because of the fat.
That sounds good. That sounds good payback for somebody.
Yeah, so don't fight them, everybody. Just ham cock them.
The only thing I ever did as a kid was a good old round of ding dong ditch. That was the extent of any messing around I did.
So it was good because when the bar owners were like, we had the stuff all together, we're like, we're gonna do this fine, you owe us $1,000. You don't pay two bands what you paid us for what happened here last night. And then at the last minute, it's like, don't chicken bomb them. And that same bar eventually did get shut down and became a sushi restaurant for some time. So imagine it wouldn't have been a great sushi restaurant if it had been ham cocked or chicken bombed or whatever, right? So, but that's my advice to everybody. Don't fight them. Don't just chicken bomb them.
He's trying to get my beard.
That chicken bomb. I think this is officially now the longest stream we ever did.
Hey, sweet. Glad to be a part of it.
Oh, and Gary's got a good one there. He says, why all the cows? You know why the cows won an award? Because they are outstanding in their field.
Oh, that's the classic joke, right?
Yeah.
That's like, His dad told him that one, and his dad told his dad that one. That's been in the
Oh my
family for a
gosh,
long time.
Rachel just had a good one. What was it again, Rachel?
You know why they wear bells around their necks?
Do you know why they wear bells around their necks? Because their horns don't work.
Oh yeah, I did hear that one before. Yeah, I did know
That's
that
good, Rachel.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Could have had more of that comedy during the meteorological report, you know.
Yeah, well, we're not good at being funny. It's just a
No,
lie.
it's very spontaneous. You know.
It's just a lie. We just say it's funny and people believe it because people believe anything you tell them these days.
Oh
That's
my
how it
god,
is.
the old ground beef joke. Oh no, lean beef, a cow without legs. Oh, with two
That's-
legs. Lean
That's
beef.
right. Yeah, he's a lean beef. That's right.
Oh man,
Well,
Hilding, you got
we came to that time of the night. Best stream ever. Thanks, Joey,
It's-
says Nolan.
it's getting late.
Well, yeah. I suppose I should sign off and
You agree, Jasper? It's time to go.
start working.
Did you get the pic of the calf there, Joey? That
No, I didn't
posted
see
on
it.
The chat.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, I posted one in the chat section. Did I post the video in there, Justin, or just the calf?
Well, I remember there's like 2 or 3 pictures. I don't remember a video.
Okay, because I had taken a video and I wasn't sure. I tried to upload it one time to the chat, and it was too big. But then it uploaded onto my boss's chat when I sent it to him.
Okay.
So I'll double check that. If I didn't put the video in, I'll try to put it in there. I mean, it has the little calf walking away with its mom. That's kind of cute, even though they're walking away from the camera, you know.
Aw. Yeah.
Yeah.
This little calf doesn't walk away yet. He's starting to roll around and starting to want to crawl, but you know, he's not running or walking away yet.
Oh, enjoy it while you can. It won't be long until he's running away from you and keeping your legs tired.
Yeah, we know we gotta baby proof this place, you know, gotta get it ready for when he's running around.
Everyone wants their baby to walk, and then once they walk, you're like, sit down. Like, I can't wait for him to say his first word, and then 10 years later, you're like, shut up.
That's what Rachel says. Yeah, hey, we wanted to talk, and then no, stop talking. Quit
Just
talking.
let it last as long as you can. That's my advice.
Hey, little buddy.
It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah.
The other day, the kids were like, what was my first word, Dad? And he's like, I was drunk.
Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry.
It wasn't quite like that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just being funny. Yeah, no, I think for Willow it was hockey or Maple Leafs or something. We were watching the Maple Leafs game, and I was just coaxing her to say it. It's like, you know, whatever.
Sweet,
One of
that's
those
cool.
two.
I think Jasper's first name is going to be or not first name. His first word is going to be hi, because we always say hi to him, and he's kind of learning like almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Leafs or something. She said, "Yeah, that's what it was." I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I was drunk a lot. I was drunk a lot back then, but not, not all the time. Like,
So you're saying that she was watching screens too when she was like, 7, 8 months old, watching the Maple Leafs.
yeah, well, I was sitting on my lap there. And,
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's hard to shelter them from the screens.
it's like, seeing as you can't walk, you're gonna learn to watch hockey.
Yeah.
You're stuck here on my lap.
Yeah.
This is hockey. But yeah, the kids are funny. They know. Like, it's like the first thing I did when I got in the vehicle for the first time with my 2-day-old infant was put on like the heaviest album I had in the vehicle at the time. I think it was Ghoul.
Teach them young.
Like, this is the world, kid. I'm not gonna have my kid be freaked out by loud noises and heavy metal, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, my kids are funny that way because they've been around, this creepy old building that would terrify the hell out of a lot of children, I guess, if they came from a really square house of white walls, right? And they got skulls and animal heads and moose heads and a bear head on the wall and all this stuff. It's like, ooh, But,
Okay, we're gonna say nighty night, guys. See
me
you.
too, then. Yeah,
Have a
long
good one there,
stream.
Justin.
Nice to
Night,
see you, Hilding.
Jasper. Yeah, nice, Justin. I'm glad
Night,
you came on,
Jasper.
man. It's always
A smile at the end.
there's a smile.
Kind of. All right.
Always good when you come on, man. You add a lot to the show. Hey, Hilding, have a good night, buddy.